Alrighty, hello, I am back. Sorry, I had the technical difficulties. Had to pause here. We're back. We're just gonna finish up doing the base colors, and then we'll go from there. Could be another short one, but yeah, let's get back into it and continue where we left off on the stream. All right, we're back from technical difficulties. Hi again, I'm Javine Hall Art, and I like to draw and play video games. And today we're drawing Cat Kitt from Pokemon Champions. If you like what you see, feel free to follow on Instagram, Tumblr, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and Patreon for more good stuff. All right, back to the stream. All right, let's go. Also, I'm listening to a podcast or True Crime podcast by Rob Mango talking about Mackenzie Shervilla. And it's crazy so far. All right, let's go.
What the actual fuck? Like, Dom is like, what the actual fuck? This is your last chance to let me come and eat, or you can put all my stuff in a bin and I'll come get it right now. I would answer right now. She starts a video chat that goes unanswered. She calls again and again and again and again and again, and then she DMs Dom. You just fucked up. Another video chat goes unanswered. You have 3 seconds to answer or I'm coming. Of course you would rather me starve. He keeps telling her she's being toxic, but she keeps calling, typing, I would answer right now. Dom seemingly begs her, quote, stop. You deadass have 20 seconds. This is why I'm not letting you come. You're threatening and shit. Another video chat, then another, then another. She calls 8 times back to back to back to back. He does not respond, and then she tells him, okay, I'm gonna come. He doesn't respond to more video chats. She says, I would answer right now. Like, I really don't want to end this relationship, but you are not a good person. You treat me like fucking shit. I need water and food, and you're not letting me eat. You are starving me. You would rather me starve. I'm so serious when I say answer. Kenzie, stop, please. I'll bring you food and water. So she's at her parents' house. Now, Mackenzie has somehow made this about starving.
What do you mean? Like, you're at home. You
Yeah.
have fucking food and water. What are you saying?
Exactly. So he's like, I don't want to be
Emotional
around you because we're going to
manipulator.
get into a fight. But I will bring you food and water because you're accusing me of starving you. Like, I will drive to your house, even though you don't deserve it and you haven't even apologized. I will bring you food and water. And then I just need some alone time because this situation's only going to escalate. So he's like willing to do all of this and still de-escalate. I mean, again, if the roles were reversed, this is like, frankly, a terrifying relationship dynamic that is just abusive. Dom offers to bring food, water. Kenzie just gets racist instead. She writes to him, you need to answer right now, N-word. I do not want to be here. So she's talking about she doesn't want to be home at her parents. What are you not getting? You know that. Which, side note, a lot of people have interpreted that perhaps there was some sort of abuse going on in Mackenzie's house. I really, going through the
Don't make
whole
excuse for this
FOIA
girl.
file, there's no way to definitively say that
Don't
that's
make
not
no
what's
excuses
happening,
for
but
her.
I don't think so. She genuinely hates her parents for 0 reasons. Like, sometimes it'll be, my dad woke me up because he was playing the TV so loud. Is he fucking R-worded? Like, she'll literally be texting Dom that.
So where is the parents? How did she become this way? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Parents not being involved.
And again, like when she is saying in
Or
caps,
they're
I
rent
don't want to
free.
be here. I know that a lot of us, maybe from a point of empathy or trying to give people benefit of the doubt or trying
Nope.
to protect people who are 17, it's like, oh, maybe something's going on in the house and she's expressing herself in this really aggressive manner because she
No
just frantically
excuse.
needs to leave. That does not appear to be the case. Like, she genuinely hates her parents because they eat McDonald's. She thinks they're slobs. She doesn't like the fact that her dad plays the TV too loud. He's so dense. Is he slow? Like, she's just, yeah. There's a whole birthday debacle we're gonna go into later. She is like so adamant that she wants to go to Florida for her birthday. I'm just gonna give you a recap because it's so crazy. She's so adamant that she's gonna go to Florida for her birthday, but there's a hurricane coming to Florida because it's Florida. And she's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just pissed off. She has her entire family and Dom scrambling to figure out where to go next to make Mackenzie happy. And she's like, you guys are gonna fucking fix this vacay. And she's like, she's going off on them and she's like, Dom, you're gonna book me a ticket to Cali right now and fix my birthday vacay. And they're all just like trying to make her happy.
Oh my
The
god.
parents are too?
Yeah.
Why?
Beats me. I mean, they're just straight enablers. They're so incompetent as parents. If I was the president, if I ran this world, I feel like they could even be criminally liable in my fake universe because, like, how do you raise someone like this? Yeah, it should be a crime
Oh
to be
my
this bad of
God.
a parent. I think it's like worse. It's like similar to neglect. Like, you are neglecting their capabilities of growing up to be a good contributing member of society. It's just so messed
No,
up.
for real.
So then she's just responding like, what are you not getting? You know that. He responds, then stop being toxic. She does not think that these two things are connected. She writes in all caps, I do not want to be here, so you're going to starve me? Is that what you're saying? Stop being
He's
toxic and I'll let
ignoring
you
everything
come.
he's saying.
He finally tells her, I'm done. So she goes off. Then please just break up with me then. If you're gonna sit here and let me beg you for food and water, then break up with me, because any good man would never do this to his girlfriend. I would answer right now, you're making this so bad for yourself. Kenzie, now you're being toxic. I said I'd bring you food and water, but instead you're trying to make it about bringing all your other stuff. I do not want to be here. Why are you not getting that? You didn't let me apologize on the phone, and you didn't apologize sincerely to me. Tom is like, I just need 20 minutes. Just give me 20 minutes and stop being toxic, and we can talk again on the phone if you apologize and I can let you come over. But instead you just spam me for the last 20 minutes being toxic as fuck. She says, if you're not gonna let me come over here, then I'm going to bring all the stuff that I brought home. It's our house. You always say that. I'm not letting you hold it over my head when I put in the work to the house too. I'm allowed to go over there and eat when all the food that I like is over there. You're holding this over my head. You're still being toxic. I would literally let you come over right now if you would just stop saying all this toxic shit and just leave it alone for a second and let me brush my teeth and then just call you back and apologize. It's all you had to do. You still have to apologize also. I'm not being toxic. I'm telling you what you're doing. Why would I keep bringing pots and pans and stuff for your house over if you're gonna hold it over my head and not let me there? Stop. It just doesn't make sense. You expect all this good when you treat me like shit. You're still doing it. You won't stop. Like, what the fuck? And you're still not apologizing. Dom seems frustrated. He just tells her, let me just bring you food. I do not want to be here. Can you not read? And if you still want me to bring other shit, I'll bring it later.
This is
like,
a brat.
She responds, why are you not understanding that I do not want to be here? Then stop being toxic and arguing with me. I'm gonna come over or this relationship is going to be over. I'm not letting you do this to me. Just let me cool down. Just let it cool down for 10 minutes and then apologize. You're not gonna hold over a house that we built together over my head.
What?
Yeah, she's acting like she's fucking Martha stewarding this house. Like she's done nothing. She also, like, she never cleans. She lives like a slob. Everyone has not testified, but they have spoken up about how she's a slob. Dom tells her, like, I'm asking for the bare minimum. Mackenzie responds, and I'm asking for literally 1 peach and water, but you can't even let me come eat. Dom responds in all caps, stop. Why is this making you so mad? I can't ask for food now? So now she's acting like he's like this a threatening, abusive person who's like controlling what she eats.
Yeah.
This woman is
I'm
crazy.
about to be done texting you. I told you so many times I will bring you a peach
Hey,
and water.
welcome back.
And if you really want, I can bring the rest of the stuff later. But instead, you're trying to say I'm holding my house and food over your head when I'm really not. You just can't respect me and can't stop arguing and being toxic. That's why I'm not letting you over.
But good for looking good so far.
This is
Thank
when
you.
she
Thank you.
finally apologizes a little bit. Not really. She says, obviously, I'm sorry for calling you names. My life was literally going to shit, and so many things were happening, which obviously you don't care about.
No excuse.
I didn't mean anything that I called you because you didn't mean what you said. I'm not being toxic and I'm respecting you. I've done nothing disrespectful except ask you for food. You're still not understanding that I do not want to be here, and you're still offering to bring me food somewhere where I don't want it, when I could literally come there and eat. Why are you doing this? You are treating me like fucking shit right now. If this old pattern is going to keep happening, then I don't know if I can do this anymore. Dom tries to set boundaries, which, like, that was not even an apology, by the way. Okay, Dom tries to set...
That is not an apology. That girl is so mean.
boundaries for the trillionth time. You are being toxic by forcing me to do things. I wasn't forcing you to do anything. You could have just let me come over and all of this would have been chill. Like, I need food and water so bad you don't even care. Dom responds with what Mackenzie was forcing him to do. He says, you're not letting me get off the phone, not apologizing when I said that all you had to do to come over was just apologize or leave me alone for a little bit to cool down. But instead, you said you can't apologize, and then you said that I have to bring you all your things when I said that I could bring you a peach and water. But I was only saying that because you were going to apologize. See, you're making it a loop because every single time I was telling you to apologize, you were saying no. And then I was saying, well, let me bring you food and water and a peach. And then you were saying, oh, I'm holding the house over your head. I'm holding food over your head. When all I wanted was an apology so that, you know, for you to just come from you to keep saying, but then you keep saying, I don't care, that you just need food and water, but I've been trying to bring it to you this whole time and you just keep arguing with me. See how you're still being toxic? So he's like finally like letting it out, okay? He's like, we're just going in a loop. And I think that's why the message is so confusing, because he's like, I'm living in a loop. I don't even know what's going on. Like, this is what you're forcing me to do. And after all of that, because he's like, all I wanted was an apology. Like, that's the crux of his feeling. He's like, I just want you to apologize for being toxic, which is completely reasonable. Mackenzie responds, did you not read my apology? Like, what the fuck?
Oh my
Like, why are you
God.
acting like I didn't apologize when I literally just said? She sends a screenshot of her half-assed apology just 2
Is
seconds ago
she
and then
what?
sends it to him. You could have just read
This
that
is
and
Cat. She's
understood,
from
but I
Pokemon
guess not.
Champions.
Dom is so confused. He says, you didn't read anything I said. You apologized for calling me names and then continue to be toxic.
Oh yeah, I'm
So
glad
you're
you were
not
belt
gonna
now.
let me come over now when I literally apologized? Dom clearly doesn't feel heard and his boundaries are still being crossed. He writes, quote, you apologize and are still toxic. She flips out. Like, what is going on? Why aren't you letting me come and eat? She keeps
Again.
doing this until finally he texts her, fine, come eat. Are you sure? Yeah, just don't be toxic. I was never holding anything over your head. I said I'd bring you food and water. I said leave me alone for a sec and apologize, and you could come over too, but you didn't leave me alone. I do appreciate the apology you did make, though. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's about understanding and growth. This is what Dom says, and this is from May 23rd, 2022, just 2 months before Dom is killed. Since Davion is no longer 18 years old, his parents felt that he was ready to be taken off their Life 360 app, which is the app like your parents can track the kids' locations, whether or not they're speeding or they're driving or if they're in the car right now or if they're walking. But instead of just getting rid of the app altogether, Davion instead connects it to his friend group. So he has a tight, close-knit group of friends and they all share each other's Life 360 apps.
Really?
I guess it's like, find my friends. You just want to make sure everybody's safe. You want to track everybody's locations, make sure that everybody is... I think the idea is very responsible. Now, July 31st, 2022, at 9:43 a.m., Davion's friends are on the Life 360 app and they're confused because they see Davion's location is heading towards the Strongsville police station. But they're like, okay, well, maybe he's just heading in that general direction. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to the police station, right? Within a few minutes, Davion's location shows that he is inside the Strongsville police station, or at least his phone is. And they're like, this is really odd. Like, why would Davion be at the police station at 10 in the morning? Like, this is so weird. They check his Life 360 history, and they notice there is this weird incident that happened at 5:30 a.m. At 5:30 a.m., they get an alert, and it
That's
shows
crazy.
Davion's phone location heading down Progress Drive. Progress Drive is technically officially called Progress Drive Business Park because it's basically a commercial road. I don't even know if commercial is the right word. It's more so industrial. So you drive
Service
down
road?
Progress and it's just a ton of these light industrial warehouses. I feel like you've all seen those like business parks where you've got the flex office spaces and then you've got the warehouses. You see lots of big trucks driving through that road. It's not massive Amazon level warehouses, but it's also not corporate in the sense of like, oh, this is our corporate
We call it
location where
service
we
roads
invite
here.
clients over. Like you're going to see a lot of manufacturing companies, pipeline businesses, plumbing businesses have, locations down here like ICI Metals, Rafter Equipment Corporation, Pipeline Development Company. Like they all have buildings along Progress Drive. It's just warehouses and their parking lots. There's no residential homes, no shops that you can stop in and grab a coffee, no pedestrians. It's just an industrial road. Why would Davion be there at 5:35 in the morning? With an alert on Life 360 showing high speed alert with the top speed at 90 miles per hour. And the Life 360 app shows that Davion's location is stopped for a point in time at one of the warehouse buildings, specifically the Pipeline Development Company. It almost looks like he's gone into the building with his phone. Why would Davion be in this random warehouse building at 5:35 a.m.? And now a few hours later, he's just heading to the Strongsville police station? Davion's friends are really confused. They're trying to in real time piece together what's going on because they're like, what's happening? 6:15 a.m., a 911 call is made.
Southwest Dispatch.
Yes. Are you familiar where Progress coincides with Albion Road there in Strongsville? There's a car that's smashed up against the building. They ran the curb. I can see they smashed the sign and hit the building.
There's a car that's smashed up against the building. I didn't go up to it because I was on my motorcycle. I don't know if I'd get stuck, but they ran the curb. I can see they smashed the sign and hit the building. The car is trashed. That's the direct 911 call. When the first responding officer arrives at the end of Progress Drive, so this is kind of a dead-end zone. Progress Drive,
This is scary.
you make a right turn from the main road of Pearl, and you make a right turn onto Progress, or at least that's what Mackenzie did. And it's like this half-mile drive. It's some people call it like a straight shot, but it's not really. There are gentle curves along this road, and the road is pretty fucked up. I mean, it's an industrial road. First of all, it's actually one of the older roads in the city, but it's an industrial road, so you have lots of heavy trucks and machinery driving past it. So the concrete on the pavement is not very level. And I guess the city is thinking, well, we don't really have a lot of people driving through this. This is like an industrial area, and it's probably going to get messed up anyway, so they haven't really fixed it. So it's kind of a bumpy drive. It's not a drive where you can just kind of wing it. It's like you'd want to have good control over your car.
Yeah.
Now, at the very end of Progress Drive, there is like a dead end. So you keep driving down Progress, and then you're going to see grass, a sign for the pipeline company, and then the red brick building.
Yeah.
When you get there on the road, you can make a right or a left. So it's a T intersection.
Oh, I see.
But you cannot keep going straight because that's where the red brick building is. But that is what Mackenzie's black Toyota has done. It has gone straight, essentially flying through the building sign, through the grass, and jamming the car straight into the corner of this warehouse building. The car looks obliterated. You can hear the officer, the first responding officer through the body cam, starting to freak out, and he's going straight into work. He is booking it to the car as quickly as he can. He's panting. And as he's running through the grass, you see that there's just massive chunks of this car and debris scattered all around.
How did she survive?
The car accident looks... not accident, the car crash looks less like a car crash. I say accident because he doesn't know what's going on. So to him, like, he's responding to a car accident. It looks like a bomb went off. The car looks like it exploded.
How did she survive?
The only way to convey the extent of the car's state through words is it looks like the front passenger side of the car had been run through a hydraulic press. It's just like smashed, disintegrated. The officer radios in for backup. Radio, there's a car split in two. Radio, there's an occupant inside.
How fast you have to go for your car to
Radio,
split?
there's an occupant inside.
He notices the driver first because naturally that's the first place you look for an occupant. Send us some squad now. We gotta bust the window out. Send us some more units. This is not a fresh accident either. She's been here for a while. He sees initially just one person in the car. Then he radios again. We got at least 2 occupants in here. No one's moving. Oh my God, times 3. Radio, 3 occupants, no one's conscious, no one's breathing, and they start freaking out.
Radio, we got at least 2 occupants in here. No one's moving. Oh my God, times 3, guys.
Sorry for those on
Radio,
TikTok
3
and
occupants.
the
No
recount
one's
of
conscious.
Mackenzie Gorilla's video. They're showing the car
No
accident.
one's breathing.
And it is brutal.
Who can hear my voice?
That officer is devastated. That's terrible. Like, if you see the car right now, yeah, it's very crazy. If you see the car right now, it's like in shreds. It's like shredded.
In plain English,
How did
a
she
managed
survive and the other
ISPM
two
is identity
did not?
hardening for Microsoft. We continuously
I guess most of the damage
He's
was onto the
he's
right side of the
banging,
car, but
he's
still.
like screaming, who can hear my voice? Radio, we're gonna need full extraction, all 3. And he's saying like, holy shit, this is bad, guys. They're all pretty young. Now,
Thanks for
upon
the follow.
first glance,
Appreciate that.
the front passenger side where Dom was sitting has a lot of the impact. There's a video of the car, and
Yeah,
this
the
is
passenger
video
side
taken
has the most
after the car is
damage.
taken to a separate lot. And the front of the car, I was almost confused. Like, am I being shown the wrong car? Like, are they gonna move to show me the black Toyota? Because the front of the car looks white. Because it's not like it's a half paint job. It's the front of the car had been disintegrated, where all you can see is metal. That's it. The officer doesn't have anything hard to smash open the windows. Like, multiple units arrive, and they're just like trying. They're even thinking like,
Thanks for sharing the
"These
live.
are
Appreciate
done.
that.
Like, we need to get in here."
Sarge, we're good to try to get her out? Oh, dude, I don't know if we can.
They can't get the window open. Eventually, they jam it open. And once they get into the car, they can quickly tell that 2 of them are not going to make it.
Oh my God. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, they're all
man.
pretty young. We got 2 that are gone.
I have a 17-year-old female, Mackenzie.
Okay, that might be the
Oh
driver.
boy, that's so
I know
sad.
that there is speculation
dark
theories
side?
online that Davion was alive at the time of the unit's arrival. It
Not
seems
yet. I
like
can't
that
judge
is
the
not
dark side
accurate.
yet.
By all accounts, Dom
I have
and
too much
Davion
people
were confirmed
alive that
DOA
will be
dead
very
on
sad
arrival
for me to join
by the
the extreme
officers.
dark side.
First responding officer later says
I
in
have
a
too much
less
to
panicked
lose.
and more somber tone, like, We got 2 that are gone. Jesus Christ, like this is probably the worst I've ever seen.
I know. Jesus.
Go on the dark side. We have cookies.
That's the worst I've
Think
ever
of the
seen.
money.
He's trying to explain to the
Dude,
new
think
officers
of
that
the
are showing
money.
up like it's like a nightmare. I ran up. I go, this is bad. I
I have
ran
to be
up. I
paid
saw
so
1.
much
I called
money
her in.
that
I
I
looked
can
in the
move
back.
away
There's 2. I called it in.
far away.
And then you see 3, and you're like, Jesus, and no one's fucking moving. At some point, the officers find an ID and realize that the individual in the backseat is
Money
Davion.
would be nice
And
though.
I don't know how this officer
All the money
knows.
to buy all the Pokemon
Maybe
cards I
he
want.
has a kid the same
And
age, or maybe he's just very involved in high school
To
sports. But
travel.
he says he's a fucking Strongsville football player. And so they mention that he's a running
Yams.
back, and the officer walks to the back
No,
seat
that's not
of the
yams, that's
car
just the
and
front.
taps on the metal.
It's part of her overall.
and
We're drawing the
says,
buckle.
"Rest in peace, buddy."
The belt buckle.
All right, this is going to be another issue
Well,
with
we're not drawing, we're painting.
notifications. They all, that kid lives in Kelsey Lane in Strongsville. Yeah.
See, that's the sad thing. We live in a small town. Almost everyone knows
The
everything.
first responders.
So imagine you respond to the
they
first
arrive
scene in
and
a
they
small
inform
town,
the other officers
and you
at
know
the
the
scene,
victims.
contacted the coroner. They're on their way out. And
That's
just
so
to add
sad.
to the chaos, you know, there's wind and debris being thrown about because
Yams.
a life flight has landed to take the only person
Feel
that
free
has
to like
a
and
pulse
follow. I
into
do
this
post the
flying
finished
ER to
artwork
the hospital.
on my Instagram,
Now, the
Tumblr,
day after
TikTok,
the
Twitter,
crash,
Twitch,
police are
YouTube,
knocking on
and
the
the
door to the
Patreon for
hospital
more
room
exclusive
with the
stuff.
only survivor,
Yeah,
and
feel
that
free.
is Mackenzie Shirilla. She has 3
All this
broken
right here.
ribs, a lacerated
Same
liver,
username.
kidney, damaged arteries, a broken
You're
femur
welcome.
above the knee. Her legs and arms are in casts. She has a neck brace on. She does
How did she
objectively look
survive
messed
that
up, but
accident?
she's alive. She's the only one
Oh
in
my
the car
god, I
that is
can't stand
alive.
her.
And by this point, her parents have
I
told
saw a
her
picture of her and her mother. The mother's just smirking. You know what it is? The parents enable such bad behavior.
they say that they told her that her boyfriend Dom and Davion had been killed. Mackenzie's parents say that after getting out of surgery in the middle of the night, Mackenzie asked, "Where's Dom?" They didn't really think that there was a way to calm her down, so they tell her, and she's just screaming, "It's not him, it's not him." Then she asks about Davion, and they say that she learns that he didn't make it, and she was just sobbing, "Oh God, oh God." But the officers aren't really interested in any of that. They want to know what the hell happened in that car, because
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. They were able to pull CCTV camera footage from a nearby warehouse that shows the black Toyota that Mackenzie is driving. There's sound.
If
to
you see the
CCTV,
car is
and
literally
it sounds like a
flying,
missile,
no
and
attempt
you hear
to
the crash.
stop at all. No attempt. It's flying fast. Like she did not press the brakes at all or nothing. It's literally flying through.
I will say that there are TikToks going around that they enhance the audio, and you can hear one of the boys screaming, "Mackenzie, no." That does not appear to be true at all. It would have been in the police reports. It would have been talked about during the trial. But you can hear the car, and it's going fast.
No,
and you
it's that
hear it
scary
crash.
fast.
It sounds
Like a
sounds
missile.
bad. There is no feasible reason that the officers can think of what would cause Mackenzie to drive in this manner. Like,
That
this
only
is not a
happens
road
if
that
you
is
have like a
easy to
seizure.
speed on. It's an
Like the way, sorry, I know I'm talking about this car, but you guys can't see it, but I'm just describing what I see. This car is like flying through, no brakes or nothing stopping. The only way I see that happening unless someone's passed out the wheel with their foot on the pedal flooring it, or they're seizing and their foot's on the pedal. Like there's no attempts to stop. This car's like flying through. That's crazy.
an industrial road with a speed limit of 35 miles per hour. Not
It's
saying
going,
that
like,
you can't speed
really
over the speed
fast.
limit, but it's like a pretty bumpy road. So one of the officers actually got into his cruiser, and he went around 55 in his cruiser. And he said like the wheel was shaking because, like I said, the road, the concrete is
Yeah,
kind of
that's
messed up. It's
crazy.
an industrial road. So he's like, to be able to maneuver, because it's not like they were going all over the place. It's like a straight shot missile. It's not
Yeah.
like she's, you know, driving and swerving and hitting things and hitting the curb and then slamming into the building. It's like, it almost looks like you'd have to be pretty in control of the vehicle.
Just,
Which
like,
also,
floored it
they
straight
think that
through.
means if someone blacked out or passed out or were so drunk, this is not a road that you can maneuver before straight shotting it into the building. They're like, if she was drunk on
That's
progress, she would have
crazy.
hit something else first.
Oh.
And they pull another
No, that was
version of
deliberate.
CCTV
She was
camera. So
she was
remember,
trying to end
Pearl
them
is
all.
the main road of Strongsville. Progress.
Thanks for likes
turn
and follow.
right.
Appreciate
So
that.
you're on Pearl, then you make a right onto Progress.
What's this? Oh,
They
it's
pull
Kitt
CCTV camera
from
that
Pokemon
road.
Champions.
And Mackenzie, when
Dawn
she
of
does
Night
that
style.
right
So
turn,
basically her from
the
Pokemon
blinkers
Champions.
on, she slows down, and she has a controlled right turn.
Right now we got
And
the
then within
brush
the span of
left.
like half a mile, suddenly she loses control of the car, and then speed shots it
No,
almost
she did it on
100 miles per
purpose.
hour straight into the building.
Nice remake. Thank you very
So
much.
like,
Appreciate that.
nothing makes sense.
Feel free
I
to
think
like and
initially when the police
follow
got there, they're thinking,
on
okay,
Instagram,
young
Tumblr,
kids,
TikTok,
we found shrooms
Twitch, and
on
Patreon for more.
Mackenzie. They found a quartz Ziploc bag of shrooms on Mackenzie's person,
Was she on
along with a digital
drugs?
scale. So they're thinking maybe this is impaired driving. But when they
Thanks
get
for
all
likes.
the
Appreciate that,
CCTV
guys.
camera, they're like, that doesn't make sense.
Does
How
not
are you
make
driving
sense.
completely normally and completely safe, and then all of a sudden you cannot drive? With the argument essentially being, okay, so if Mackenzie is impaired, she's somehow managing to drive with the skill of like an F1 driver straight into a building. So the police believe that rules out the fact that she could be impaired, though they do a toxicology report or test just to make sure. More on that in a second, but
Yeah, what's
later,
the results on
Mackenzie
that?
and her parents, as well as her defense attorney, will argue that Mackenzie was impaired, just not
Thanks
by
for follow.
drugs,
Appreciate
not by
that.
anything that's going to show up in the toxicology. They argue that Mackenzie was diagnosed with POTS,
What's
which
POTS?
can cause someone to faint. I will note
No.
that not everyone diagnosed with POTS faints.
Okay. Okay, listen.
It's actually like this is a very
I'm sorry for people who can't hear the other audio playing. Okay, even if she did faint, unless her foot's really heavy on the pedal, okay, that would be the case. But if you faint, your body comes to relax, right? So that means the steering wheel is not going to be straight. Car going at speed, as soon as it hits a bump, it's going to adjust that bump, and the car's going to start losing control and swerving. The only way she'd be going that fast, unless she's stiff arming it and holding the steering wheel and going straight to that wall. Because on a bumpy road, I don't know if any of you guys drive, but if you hit like a pothole or something, and they said that road's an industrial road, it was bumpy, as soon as you hit a pothole, the wheels will shift and it will go in that direction, whatever direction it is, and turn. So anytime you're driving on a bumpy road, you know the car shakes. No, she did not faint. The only thing is they said a better excuse she had a seizure and she seized up. That would make more sense. But if you faint, you're limp. As soon as you hit a bump or something, the car's gonna turn in whichever direction the tire everything gets knocked off axis or whatever. There's no way. They should have said that she had a seizure and she stepped up. There's no way you fainting that's happening. That's like someone stiff arming it, steady, and flooring it. No way. Get out of here.
Misrepresented diagnosis. In fact, that's a point of frustration with a lot of people who are diagnosed with POTS, is that everyone assumes that they pass out when it's not even part of the diagnostic criteria. Diagnostic criteria typically rest entirely on heart rate response, not fainting. Fainting, however, is a possible symptom, but not everyone with POTS faints. In fact, it's considered kind of like a rare event.
Go rip some packs, unbox the new digital way.
That's
You know I have
crazy.
to go. Hell yeah.
I think she was trying to end them all, and somehow, some cool joke, she survived. And the innocent people, unfortunately, the two young men lost their lives. I never heard about this. I'm like, oh, that's so bad. I didn't realize it was this bad to this extent. See what happens, what gets digged up from people's social media and personal phones? I swear, phones are a blessing and a curse. The reason why they're a blessing and a curse, phones track everything, record a lot of our history and everything. They get so much information from a phone, and naturally people are going to say what they're doing, and it tracks our history and our movement and all that stuff. We get a better story of what actually happened, or get deeper, in-depth knowledge. We're like, okay, these two had problems for a long time. You can tell by their text messages, blah, 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 blah. But then, that's the blessing of the phone. It tells you everything. The curse is you don't really have privacy anymore. Once you have a phone, you might as well have a giant tracker say, here I am, this is what I'm doing, everything. But in a way, phones are good because, you know, we need them. They're definitely helpful for helping solving cases. Like, oh, we know you were here at this time, at this point in time, because your phone pinged off these towers, or We know what you've been going through or your history because we see your chat history. Yeah, it's crazy. Double-edged sword. Anyways, that's crazy. That's so sad.
As a disorder where it just feels like you're going to faint.
Welcome to the stream.
And you might faint. It is, life altering, but it's not like, oh, everyone with POTS is fainting all the time and like they shouldn't be behind the wheel. Like it's not this like, oh my gosh, so scary, you're gonna die, and like everyone, you can't be behind a car. The hallmark for POTS is more so a heart rate increase of at least 30 beats per
Until it
minute
has
in adults
spawned in your
within
life.
the first 10
Welcome,
minutes
welcome,
of standing
welcome.
up or a head up tilt. It's very much based on standing up. That's like a huge thing with POTS. It's okay. So a lot of it is centered around when someone without POTS, I guess like if you and I were not diagnosed with POTS, we stand up. Gravity pulls 10 to 15% of blood into the stomach and the legs. The body will compensate by tightening the blood vessels and modestly adjusting the heart rate. For people with POTS, the blood vessels
Why
will
does this
not
show
tighten.
up when I'm
So
on a cool
blood,
down?
pools below the heart, and in an attempt
Cool down.
to overcorrect, because the body doesn't really like. They're like, "Whoa, what's going
Talking
on?"
like
Then the body will
playing
flood
video
their system
games?
with
I hope so.
norepinephrine and epinephrine.
That's a wild
so
statement.
The heart is just getting epinephrine and norepinephrine and doesn't really know why. So naturally, it causes the heart rate to shoot up.
All right, I think we have
abnormally.
all our base
So,
colors
you know,
down.
That's like they might get lightheaded, dizziness.
I think we're
more so
ending the
than just
stream
like,
here,
oh,
but I
I'm a
might
little
go on for
dizzy,
like
right?
10
POTS
more
is
minutes
a
or so.
life-altering diagnosis, and I'm not trying to
Is this
say that,
getting
oh, this is
late?
not serious, but it's not considered
But yeah,
life-threatening. There
so
are
far we
no
have all our
deaths
base colors
attributed
down.
directly to
So I think the
POTS.
next thing we're gonna
I
do
think that's a huge thing that
is I'm just
people
gonna pause
in
the
the
video for a second. Thanks for following. Yeah, feel free to follow. Make sure you follow and like and subscribe. I'll be posting the finished artwork soon. And feel free to follow me on other platforms too, all the same username. But yeah, I think I'm done here with the base colors and stuff. So in the next stream, I will be just adding detail and rendering to make it look all pretty, adding the drop shadows and the highlights and all that stuff, to make it look cool. Then we'll be done and we'll post the finished artwork. There'll be alternate versions, so yeah, feel free to follow me and stay up to date. Okay. I'm gonna go for a bit more till this podcast ends, which is about like 10 more, 15 more minutes. I'll let that play out. Yeah.
POTS community feel like the stigma is a lot, especially with
I
driving.
got the
And I was actually on the
tizzle.
POTS subreddit, and they
Yeah.
really hate Mackenzie.
Some of you guys have some crazy usernames. What kind of username is that? I got the tizzle. That is crazy. Surprising. That's wild. That is wild. These usernames are creative. Someone had a username that made me laugh so hard. Because it was like your mama something. Anytime they type something, like their username was your mama said. So anytime they type anything, it'll be what they said. So it's like your mama said, "Oh, nice picture," or your mama said, "Ooh, that's crazy." It was funny. That was such a creative username. So anytime they type something, it's like your mama said. That's hilarious. And there's people just have regular username, just like Jordan or Junior 708104. Yeah, that would make sense. There's a lot of juniors out there. All right, back to drawing.
It seems. Because a lot of them,
Your mama said
most
that
of them
was
have been
crazy.
diagnosed with POTS for decades. A lot of them say they've never fainted. And they actually, it was like very annoying because when people find out they have POTS, it's always like, how can you dare drive? Like there's so many misconceptions about POTS. And it's just not, they feel it's not true.
Okay,
So that's not to say that people with POTS don't faint. They absolutely can and do. And
there's
it
like
can
that
be
blush
life-altering
thing
when
going
they faint,
on.
because typically the
I'm gonna
biggest
make it
practical
red.
danger of
I
POTS
like to make it
is
deeper
injury
red.
from fainting. So like you faint, you fall, and you hit your head.
So we're
Now,
some
it
mess
does
around
appear
here.
that the general public does just think it's a fainting disease, which
We'll
doesn't
call it
seem to
skin
be the
blush
case
or
at all.
whatever.
But it's also a condition where you could have been diagnosed, gone years without fainting,
She has like,
and then
I
you
want to give
suddenly
like a little
faint. It
sun,
is entirely possible.
rosy. I'm not sure
Does
we
that
call
mean
that.
that that's what
Thanks for
happened
the follow.
in this case?
Appreciate that.
Most people don't think so, for a lot of reasons
It's like
that
a
we're
rosy
going to
cheek or
dive
sunburn
deeper
or
in a
sun
separate
blush.
episode, but I'm just going to give you a little bit right now. So interestingly enough, a lot of people with POTS thinks that this whole thing is ridiculous, okay? Even the way that Mackenzie's mom talks about POTS in court later during Mackenzie's trial, she calls POTS
Yeah, we're
a
gonna do a little
blood
bit of
pressure
that.
condition,
Yeah, I like that.
which inherently is not true. So when your blood pressure drops, that's when people faint.
Yeah, it's like
Fainting can be
it's
a
like in the
symptom
sun, so
for
it has that
some people with
rosiness.
POTS, but the condition itself is not a blood pressure condition. It's like more a heart rate condition. So it's just like people are like,
A little
how
bit
can you
there.
say that your daughter is diagnosed with POTS and that's what caused this fatal crash, but you sound so
That works.
uneducated about POTS? Like if this was
You
truly
don't
a
wanna
condition that was
overdo it. You just wanna make
life-altering
it
enough
like
for Mackenzie to get diagnosed with
the
it,
red
and
blush.
then later, according to them, get into a fatal car accident,
We'll do something
killing
with the
2 people
eyes.
in the car because of POTS, you would think her
I don't
mother
wanna
would know a
overdo
bit
it.
about POTS.
Because
When
she's like
she
in the
calls it a
sun,
blood
so she
pressure
has a little
condition in court,
rosiness
which
to her.
is inherently not true. Blood pressure, again, plays a role, but it's not a blood pressure condition. If you go on the POTS subreddit, you'll actually see a lot of people who argue that had this been a POTS-related episode, it's more likely that her body would go limp rather than floor the pedal
That's
all
what
the
I'm
way straight
saying.
into the wall. So they're saying, like,
I
when
like
you
this.
faint, it's more likely with POTS that your body goes limp.
See that little red
See.
One
blush
person
makes it
literally
so
comments,
much.
she's so fucking stupid. If this were
I
a
love
POTS
her
episode,
design.
the
Yes, I
exact
do.
opposite would happen.
Yeah, I will
There
say
are also
Pokemon.
speculations that her
They create some
diagnosis
cool
could have
designs. I'm not
come
gonna lie.
from the fact that she was engaged in super heavy drug use and she does appear to be low
I
on
will
the
say
BMI
that the
scale.
people who designed
So
some of
feeling
these characters
lightheaded
are
upon
pretty cool.
standing is not
Like,
always
this is the original
POTS.
design, but this is my
It
version.
could be because
But I think
you're
it's such a good design.
malnourished or your BMI is too low.
Like a
It
good
could be
southern
heavy drug
country girl.
usage. It could be like low iron. It could be lots of things. But again, like with POTS diagnosis, that's why a lot of people again
Yeah, I just
are
made
in the
minor
community
changes.
upset. There's a lot of specific
Just having some
criteria.
fun with
Usually,
it.
the gold standard is a tilt test.
They
like
cook. They
strap you
do.
to
They
this
do.
board,
They do.
and they put you in a direction
And she's
which
gonna have.
would simulate
I
standing
want to give her
up.
some. She
They
has
keep you there for
freckles.
like 10 minutes while
That
they're
makes sense.
watching your heart rate and
I
all
think
of
she
these
should have
things.
some freckles on
But
her
she gets
her like
diagnosed in
shoulders
2017
and
because
lower legs.
she
I
apparently
should
like
add that in.
fainted in the kitchen. Her mom takes her to the Cleveland Clinic and she's prescribed
All
salt
depends.
tabs and is diagnosed with
Or
POTS.
is that freckles or sunspots?
And then it just seems like nothing ever happens.
I guess that'd be freckles.
Like they don't get follow-ups, they don't do further diagnostic testing, at least
Here,
that
add
it's not
some of
revealed in
that
court. I don't have her medical
tone,
records, but I would assume
that
that the defense would
redness,
have used it.
to,
In
like,
fact, I
the
also think
shoulders.
it's weird that the defense, if they
Is that
really
like a
were trying to
sunburn?
argue
Kind
this
of like a
whole POTS
light
thing,
sunburn?
why don't you just strap her up to the tilt test board? Why don't you like definitively prove? Because Natalie Sharilla didn't even know the diagnosing physician. She's like, I don't even know what doctor it was. Like there was no upkeep in this
Yeah,
POTS
yeah,
diagnosis.
yeah.
There was nothing. And then also it's the
Like
fact
a
that
little
people are saying,
sunburn. I like
okay,
it.
so she fainted
They
once
would do
in the
some for the
kitchen,
body.
and this is not to comment
Oh.
on people's weights, but she does seem probably very low on the BMI scale to the point where some doctors may be alarmed. That could cause lightheadedness.
Maybe.
That could cause fainting.
Sorry, I missed that. What'd you
She
say?
is engaging in
Thanks for the
heavy
follow,
drug
guys.
use.
Appreciate
It could be
that.
a wide variety of reasons.
Think of the
And
money.
her mom gets her diagnosed with
Very
POTS,
minor
right?
indeed.
So it's just like, and if that were
The
all
money.
true, if this is the
Ooh.
case, Mackenzie faints in the kitchen,
can't
her
go to
mom
the
gets her
dark side,
diagnosed
guys.
with
We gotta
POTS,
stay
and her
in the
mom
light.
still let her
Gotta
have
stay
a
in the
car
light.
while smoking weed with POTS is, I mean, that would be a huge problem because
We
not
go
because
to the
people with
shadows,
POTS
not the
cannot
dark
drive,
side.
because they
We go a
absolutely
little
can.
bit into the shade.
And just as safely as any other
little bit into
law-abiding
the
citizen
shade.
without POTS. But Mackenzie is 17. Her mom says she's fainting in the kitchen. Her parents know she partakes
Usually
in an
around
ungodly
like
amount
things
of
like the
smoking weed.
fingertips and the
And
elbows.
she's
It's,
trying
like,
to
usually
like make the
darker.
plant go extinct. Like that's how much
Since she's wearing
she's
gloves, you can't really
trying
get
to
that.
smoke weed. And she likes to drive while high on weed.
I guess
would
on the
imagine,
chest
like,
there'll be a
that's
little
huge
bit
problem if
of
you're letting your
redness
daughter
too.
do that. And another
On the
thing is,
collarbone,
if the
maybe?
gibberish speak, the carny speak in the hospital room is to be believed, the fact that she was speaking in what her dad, describes to be carny, allegedly saying,
Oh yeah,
"Can you
I'm
just
sorry, I'm gonna
tell them that
interrupt.
I
I'm
had
gonna
a
pause for a
seizure?"
second. For those wondering, I'm talking about, I'm watching a true crime podcast about Mackenzie Sharilla. That was very interesting. When she started speaking, the carny speak, it was like almost like a gibberish. But her mother knew that. It's like, I guess I heard a thing called back then Pig Latin. It was almost like a made up language where they understood each other. To me, that was crazy. Like I know people have stuff like Pig Latin where they say things so you can fully understand. The fact that her mother and her are able to communicate that kind of way is crazy. Because if I play back that part where she's speaking the Carney speak, whatever, it sounds like a different language. I'm like, what is that? But her mother understood her. It's like I guess it's a way to communicate without
Seizures
having
and
other people
POTS
understand you.
are
That
not
freaked
even
me
the
out.
same thing. Like these are entirely different things. Seizures and fainting due to POTS are not the same. We can't just fucking make
Thanks for the
pasta
follow. Appreciate that.
and see what sticks to the wall. A lot of comments on the POTS subreddit are along the lines of like, genuinely made me so mad. I feel like her claims are just adding to the misconceptions about POTS. How in the world would a POTS episode make you push harder on the gas? Stitch
Exactly,
absolutely
that's what I'm
feels fit,
saying.
and I'm glad she's in jail. Another one reads, amazing how fainting and losing consciousness can perfectly keep the car steered and accelerated.
That's what I'm
For
saying.
sure. Another says, my jaw hit the floor when she said it was a medical event due to POTS. Only people with POTS would know that's not how it works. People have also noted that during the trial, during high stress situations with likely dehydration and other things playing into the mix, she never asked for a break because she felt like she was fainting, which is reasonable and expected for someone with POTS. So because like your heart rate goes up when you're stressed and high cortisol, and you know, she's sitting in the courtroom on trial, she's probably not drinking a ton of water,
Trying to add these
dehydration,
highlights
and she
here,
never
but very
asked like
subtly.
the judge for a moment because feels like faint and lightheaded. You know, there's lots of moments where she's standing, sitting, judge walks in, she stands. Like there's not like suddenly nothing matters. You only had POTS in that like 2 minutes in the car. They also argue that medical records after she's life flighted don't match someone with POTS, that after being pulled out of that car with all the other factors, her blood pressure was qualitatively described as elevated when she's pulled from the crash. Now, I will say,
hello, welcome. Thanks for following. Appreciate. Okay, I'm gonna add some of that onto the air because technically, skin is kind of translucent, especially if you're a paler complexion. So you'd be able to see like some translucency.
Join the new
That's why
Michaels
I add like
Rewards
that.
program for free and get 3% back on your purchase. Level up to gold and earn 6% back. And you
It's
can
a
go
natural girl, so I'm not
platinum
gonna give her
and
no
9% back.
lipstick.
The
We'll just
new
give
Michaels
her
Rewards
some color
program.
to the lips.
Create more,
It's a
earn
little
more.
bit. I think that's good enough. See, that's perfect right there.
they are pulled from the crash way later from the actual accident, but
This is
some
very
people have
subtle because it's
argued,
very
like,
natural. It
POTS
doesn't really
would
matter.
cause, if you fainted, it would be
Makeup.
low blood pressure, not high blood pressure.
I'm
but
gonna
she
give her
had
some more
elevated blood pressure.
sunspots or
She also
freckles,
had a
I
normal
guess.
heart rate and ECG showing normal electrical heart function, which
I think that
probably
works.
wouldn't happen,
And I
they
guess
think, in a POTS episode within like even an hour.
around the
Like
hat.
POTS episode, all of that physical trauma, and then your heart rate is normal. Like they just don't think that makes sense. And also, when they extract her from the car, it's like a posterior condition, so
Then
she's being moved.
underneath the neck would
So
have
that would
a little
mean if
darker
she does have
tone.
POTS, her heart rate should go up because she's going from sitting to probably at least some form of like she's moving. Now, it's interesting to note that her defense did not bring an expert to testify about Mackenzie's POTS and how she could have fainted while operating the vehicle. Some people believe it was a genuine accident, and people who believe it was
Nah,
not
I
have
think
mixed
she
reasonings as to why the
wanted to
defense
end
did
it
not
all,
bring
and
in an
somehow
expert
she
during the trial. We're
survived.
going to get into it in a second. I feel like I'm
She was
getting ahead
trying
of
to end
myself,
their
but we're going to
lives,
cover it
all
thoroughly
of them.
later.
But
So
she survived.
the first theory that police had was that Mackenzie was high and impaired while driving, but it just doesn't make sense with all the CCTV footage they're getting. Very early on, Mackenzie's mom is saying things like, oh, she has POTS, like in the hospital. So she's like, oh, maybe it was the POTS, right? And the police are like, well, that doesn't seem to be the case either. Like, we don't really think that's what happened either. So the police get the black box data from the vehicle, and according to the
Why is that
reports,
black
it
boxes?
reads, the Toyota averaged approximately 80.51 miles per hour in the
didn't know
final
that.
second leading up to the collision as it
It makes
traveled off
sense.
the roadway. So it struck
I
the
didn't know they
commercial
had black
sign
boxes in
and then
cars
the
now.
eastern side of the building. The black box shows that 5 seconds before impact, the Toyota was 100% acceleration,
That
meaning
is
the
crazy.
gas pedal was pressed all the way down. You could not press on the gas further, fully depressed. You cannot press down further.
That's what I'm
Like, this is
saying.
very pertinent. And at no point in the 5 seconds was the brake pedal ever pressed. This is the single most consequential data point in this case. I will say there is a change in the engine throttle before impact. That is argued that the car was airborne. So when it hit the curb, I'm not saying it like flew, but it was off the ground, and that will naturally impact the throttle engine readings. But the brake was never pressed.
That is
Within
crazy.
the final seconds, there is a small right turn of the steering wheel, then a small left turn, and then a significant right turn of 142 degrees.
Wow, I
of
know
the steering
cars
wheel.
track all that
1
stuff.
second before the crash, the gear shift is moved to neutral and then moved back to drive. Now, this is done manually. This does not slip on its own. There's nothing in the black box that would show that the car would initiate or
That's
engage some
crazy.
sort of protection mode or safety feature where it would go to neutral, then back to drive. So like something is happening with the gear shift physically.
Someone's
manually in
probably
the car.
trying to
The
pull
car
the
was
gear
also found
shift.
to not have any malfunctions or mechanical errors that could have caused this. Now, I say this with a lot of cases. If anyone truly believes that in a case, a car malfunction is the cause of death or deaths, I think a wrongful death suit demanding tens of millions of dollars will be knocking on the car manufacturer's door. Like, that is my opinion, obviously, but I think that is a strong
All right,
thing.
guys.
So the black box data shows there's no malfunctioning of the vehicle. I will note there have been conversations online about whether or not Toyota had acceleration issues in the past. So some people are like, oh yeah, Toyota had this thing where it would just freaking accelerate even if when you didn't want it to. Which makes it sound like Toyotas would just go 100 miles per hour out of the blue, leaving the driver and occupants trapped in a deadly rocket. That's okay. This was a whole thing back in 2009. Formal investigations
kinda
were held
remember
into
that.
Toyota's what they called the acceleration problem. The Department of Transportation, so there were multiple calls coming in saying like, oh, the Toyota won't brake. Like, I don't know what to do.
I
I'm not
remember
stepping on,
that
I'm stepping on the brake,
recall.
but it's accelerating. Like, help me. Like, people are freaking out. The Department of Transportation actually found that the acceleration from Toyotas, the unintentional accelerations from Toyotas, was mainly from floor mats getting stuck.
Yes, I
onto the
remember
gas
that.
pedal.
Sorry.
And more
I
often,
remember that the floor mats were actually like getting stuck and causing an issue. I totally remember that. And want to know something crazy? I remember I bought floor mats for my car. It was during the winter. I bought new floor mats, and I remember I was driving on the highway. This is why you gotta make sure you buy the proper floor mats for your car and make sure they're fitted. If you can buy manufactured car mats, not every third party car mat is the best. You gotta make sure your floor mats are flush to the floor and don't move. And I remember I was driving and I was like, why does my car keep going? Because I let off the accelerator and I remember my car kept going. My floor mat, at the end of it, it lifted up and it was keeping my accelerator pedal down. Luckily, I was able to catch that and like kick the mat or pull the mat down while I was driving on the highway. Well, I just realized that could have ended really badly. But I caught it real quick because somehow my acceleration pedal got underneath the mat. It was lifting. It wasn't properly fitted in the car. And I remember as soon as I got that, I pulled over. I just took that mat out and threw it in the back of my trunk. I never put a mat in the front of my in the driver's side again. And you never know. Floor mats can make your car accelerate if it gets stuck underneath the mat or something. Let's say like the mat's like lifting and it gets stuck because it's rubber against the fabric and yeah, that was crazy. So it can happen. But I remember this.
and the
But this is not the case. She floored it. She wanted to kill them all.
drivers who inadvertently press the gas pedal thinking they were pressing the brakes and then panicking, but a lot of it was user error. Toyota did a massive recall because they thought the financial loss was better than